Oh, hey there. I've been nominated to do the 3x3 challenge. And that's where you tell 3 things about yourself that perhaps your YouTube or internet community don't know. And then you nominate 3 others to do the same if they choose to. And I was nominated by a YouTuber with a channel name Mange 2. It's a good name. Now I know he has an interest in motorcycles, but at the moment that's not what his videos are all about. At the moment he's converting one of those big white delivery vans into a mobile home, and he's doing an absolutely incredible job of it too. Still in the early stages, but his attention to detail, yeah, is incredible. I do believe he's going to end up living in this this thing. So I'll leave a link somewhere for Mange 2 channel. Go and check him out if you want. He did the 3x3 challenge obviously, and it was very interesting too. So if you do get a chance to go over there, tell him Marty aka Volgnit said hello. And I'll go and sit over here. So the first thing I'm going to tell you about, and a lot of you might have already picked up on it, but I'm a bit slow on the uptake, and it usually takes me 2 times to get anything correct. For example, I left school twice in my mid-teens. I discovered sex and drugs and rock and roll, not necessarily in that order, and I went and worked in a factory, 12-hour shifts, 1 week on days, 1 week on nights, 6 till 6. After 8 or 9 months I finally realised I was going nowhere, so I went back to school. Been married twice. The first time was only for about 18 months. Second time, well, we all know how I feel about Mrs. V. So I got it right the second time with that one. And as a lot of you probably know, I work in the heavy transport industry. I'm not allowed to mention my employer's name on social media apparently. But suffice it to say I drive trains. Well, I'm what they call a retread. I was on the job in 79 to 85. 85, I found my first marriage at the time was falling to bits, and I wanted to take some leave, and they said, no, we can't afford any time off. So I chucked it in, and the boss at the time said, well, if you leave now, you'll never get back. Well, 25 years later, he was dead and gone, and I've been back now longer than I was there the first time. Yeah, so that's the first thing. Now I've got to think of another 2 things to tell you. Well, there's something that the YouTube community probably doesn't know about me. When I was 18 years old, I worked on that mountain, on the ski lifts, for a whole season. And my goodness, what fun that was. Talk about so wild oats. I don't know how they organise it these days, but back then we used to have 2 guys at each end of the ski lift, and there are quite a number of lifts on the mountain on that field where I worked. It was called the Whakapapa ski field. Still in operation, of course. So we'd have 2 guys, two guys at each end, helping people on and off, and hitting the emergency stop button if somebody got tangled up, and etc, etc. So on the weekends or during school holidays, you pretty much had to work the whole time. You might get a break, half an hour or so. But during the weekdays, when it wasn't school holidays, we'd spend half our time skiing. 18 years old, I was the youngest guy working on the ski lifts at the time, but the social life was extraordinary, shall we say. Yes, there are some blue stories I could tell. So when I was trying to decide what 3 things I could tell about myself, on the family chat, I asked anybody who would answer to name 3 things about me, and the youngest one said, you have a line from a song for for any any occasion. And I said, that's not true. And she said, well, you can't hide your lying eyes. And I asked my son about it. His answer was, oh man,
look at my life. I'm a lot like you were.
Well, then I thought about it and I thought, well, I can't really use that because I've already done it quite a bit in various videos. Had to come up with something else. And I decided that what I maybe could tell you about is the varied work history I've had. And it's a little bit scary to think about the number of jobs I've had. Supervisor's role in the tourism industry, driving for a few years, travelling a lot, and I've never been sacked. I ended up getting that job. All the various jobs I have had. In a factory as a process worker, that's pretty mind-numbingly boring. Worked in construction, happiness through hard labour and all that. Worked on the ski lift. I went to Australia. Couldn't find a job, ended up in desperation selling encyclopedias door to door. Oh my giddy aunt, I can't believe I did that. Scurried back to New Zealand, got a job selling cars. And from there, I went to selling motorcycles, which I really enjoyed, got a passion for motorbikes. Then I joined the railways. I worked in London, a couple of pubs actually. Steel mill and construction, worked in the steel mill itself. By then I had met the future Mrs. V and had fallen head over heels. So now I have to nominate 3 people, 3 fellow YouTubers to do the 3x3 challenge if they want to. So keeping it in New Zealand, I'm going to nominate my old mate, the KiwiBadger. I'm sure he's got some interesting tales to tell us that we don't know already. And then let's send it across the ditch to Australia and Captain Cranky. How about it, Captain? Would you like to tell us 3 things about yourself that we don't know already? And then for my last nominee, I think we'll send it back to the UK and see if Graham Calvert, Adventures with Woody, would like to tell us 3 things about himself that we don't already know. How about it, Graham?